Good morning. It's great to be here and an honor to be here and to see such a full house of people coming to talk about health tech. I'm sure that in the next 2 days you're going to have an amazing set of discussions, presentations, panels, and everything. So I would like to start by giving you a broader context of the state of the Israeli high-tech sector as a whole and the state of the health tech sector after a few very challenging years, as you know. But first, I will shortly introduce the Innovation Authority. We are the government agency who is responsible for the high-tech sector in Israel. Our job in life is to maintain and strengthen Israel's high-tech leadership in an increasingly competitive global landscape. You know that Israel is ranked at the top 5 innovation hubs in the world, and our job is to make sure we remain there, and you will see in a moment few numbers about that. We fulfill this mission in 2 different ways. One is direct investments of about $700 million every year into the ecosystem, primarily into tech companies, early stage, primarily into deep technologies that the private sector does not know how to fund by itself. The second mode of operation is by developing the overall policies of the government vis-a-vis the high-tech sector. Now, the Israeli high-tech sector, a story of resilience. The last few years were really challenging in all aspects. As I said, Israel is one of the top 5 innovation hubs in the world with astonishing numbers compared to our size. Number 1 in the world in terms of number of startups and unicorns per capita, 6.7% of GDP invested in research and development every year in the country. This is the highest number by far in the world. OECD average is less than 2.5%. Almost 1/5 of our GDP comes from the high-tech sector, again, the highest number in the world. As a reference, the US, the superpower of technology in the world, it's less than 10% of GDP. The EU, less than 5% of GDP. So I always tell my team that we have nowhere to copy from. We need to write our own guidebook on how to deal with an economy which is so heavily dependent on its tech sector. And almost 60% of Israeli export is already coming from the tech sector. Again, the highest number in the world, really positioning us in the top 5 innovation hubs. By the way, I just saw the mayor of Jerusalem coming in. The mayor of Jerusalem, Karin, just some attention. For those of you who don't know, there is also a ranking of cities in the world as innovation hubs. And Jerusalem just jumped last year into the top 100 cities of the world in terms of innovation, with specific focus on biotech and AI as the strength points of Jerusalem. But all of that was put under a compromise on October 7th. Really, there was a question: how do we cope with such an extreme situation that we had at the end of 2023? You know, people were called to army duty or went out to volunteering activities, so suddenly startups and companies lost 20–30% of the workforce. You cannot invite foreign investors to come into Israel to evaluate investments. You cannot send salespeople to your global customers. So it was really challenging, and the list I can go on and on. One of the things that the ecosystem did was to start using the slogan, Israeli tech delivers no matter what, in order to send a message to the global markets that we can deliver, but also to persuade ourselves that we can deliver. And I can tell you that when we look upon the numbers of 2025, we did deliver amazingly. And I would like to share with you only 3 numbers. There are many more. First of all, fundraising into startups, early stage startups. Israel kept its 4th place in the world. When I say 4th place, I mean compared to either countries in our size or metropolitan areas in our size. So you can see that the Valley, New York and Boston were in the first 3 places, and Israel kept its historical, if you will, 4th place in fundraising into early stage startups. Another mind-boggling number, the amount of M&As that took place in Israel last year, an amazing record of more than $80 billion of M&As. Multinational companies coming in and acquiring companies in Israel. This is almost 4 times the previous record, which was in 2017, which was around $20 billion. So think about that for a moment. In the middle of the war, even before the cycle of June 25 with Iran, many such big deals that happened in Israel. Last but not least, and maybe the most mind-blowing number, is the number of new startups founded in Israel in 2025. You can see here that in the last decade, there was a decline in the number of new startups established in Israel, and for a good reason. 2014 was a year of the peak of mobile applications and e-commerce and stuff like that. And since then, we saw a consistent decline in the number of new startups everywhere in the world, not just in Israel. But for the first time in 24 and then again in 25, we see an increase in the number of startups. Now you ask yourselves, how come people in the middle of the war, with all the challenges, they have time to think about new ideas and to establish new startups? Well, the answer is the Israeli entrepreneur. Nothing is impossible. Through this period, as you know, the Israeli Innovation Authority pushed a lot into what we define as deep tech. So not just developing a quick software application, but rather ventures which are founded with deep technological and scientific breakthrough. So it was very important for us to make sure that the Israeli high-tech is not losing sight of those deep tech ventures. So we've published at the end of 25 also for the first time a study about Israeli deep tech, and I would like to share with you some numbers from there. So first of all, 1,500 deep tech companies in Israel today, which are about 20% of the overall number of high-tech companies. They have raised in the last few years 36% of the overall fundraising in the country. So this is a very good number. And again, compared to other innovation hubs in the world, the Israeli deep tech is number 5 in the world after 4 American innovation hubs. And if you will, Israel is the 2nd country in the world, or at least in the Western world, in terms of deep tech investments. And when you talk about deep tech, you obviously need to think about health tech, and this is the next chapter of my presentation, the situation or the state of the Israeli health tech sector in the face of 2 amazing revolutions, AI and bio. Really, each one of them is enough to foster an amazing wave of innovation, but they are happening together. AI is changing everything we know about what is high-tech, how do you develop a product, what is a product, how do you develop a competitive moat around your product, really disrupting everything we know and changing, and we can see really the developments from day to day. But about AI, everyone speaks, even the popular media. Everyone knows a lot about AI, but bio is something that not many talk about. We saw the presentation of Professor Nachmias. This is exactly what we mean when we talk about the bio revolution or the bioconvergence revolution. This is a silent revolution, but not less disruptive than AI. And actually, they are affecting all subsectors of the health tech sector. We always divide between medical devices, biopharma, and digital health. Well, AI is disrupting all health tech sectors, and bio is for sure disrupting medical devices and biopharma, and in ways that we can only imagine how they will evolve in the next coming years. Few numbers about the sector. We estimate the number of tech companies or health tech companies in Israel to be around 2,000. You can see the divide between the 3 subsectors of the health tech. This is the amount of exits in those three sectors, and overall the number, including the 89 bio exit. In terms of investments, those are the investments of the private sector. I'm ending soon. You can see the percentage here is very interesting. You can see that out of the private investments, only 2.8% went to medical devices, 2.7% to biopharma, and 4.6% to digital health. But when I add to that the investments of the Innovation Authority, you see that 17% of our investments are going to medical devices, very strong sector in Israel, 7% to biopharma, and digital health, where there's more private money, we are actually investing less. All of that is done, or most of that is done through the startup fund, which if someone in the audience is not familiar with, this is the time to learn. This is the way we invest in early stage deep tech startups. This is our portfolio of pre-seed, seed, and round A companies that got investments from our startup fund. On top of that, it's not enough. As Karin said at the beginning, it's not enough just to have great ventures or great entrepreneurs. You need the entire ecosystem to be mixed together. And therefore, we continue to invest in research in academia and industry, labs and databases, innovation centers, venture studios that are creating ventures and helping them grow, pilot sites in Israel and abroad, and also the Yozma Fund, which helped venture funds in the health tech sector to raise funds in 2025. And all of this is working towards our vision of Israel as a global hub for health tech innovation, where AI meets biology to redefine human health. Thank you very much.